Congratulations, crafting on a budget. Today's video is part 2 from yesterday's Scarecrow video. I'm going to be showing you what I'm using those rings for that were left over from the Peats pots after we cut them up to use them for the Scarecrows. You are going to love this. Today's project is inspired from those pumpkins that you see that are made out of mason jar rings. Those mason jar rings can be a bit pricey. They're not super budget friendly, especially if you don't use mason jars all that much. I have seen packets where you can buy just the rings and the lids themselves, but even those are $6 for about a 6 or 10 pack. I remember thinking when I was cleaning up my mess after making those Scarecrows, I had tons of these Peats pots rings left over that I was about to throw away. And I just kept thinking, what could I use these for? I don't want to throw these away. When, I kid you not, a couple days later, it hit me, I can make a pumpkin out of those, just like the mason jar ring pumpkins. Only these will be more rustic and more farmhouse because these Peats pots are such a cool item to craft with. I kid you not, I went to the recycle bin and dug the bags of them out of the recycle bin and tried it and fell in love with these pumpkins. So let's get to it and let me show you how I made this rustic farmhouse pumpkin out of the Peats pots rings from yesterday's Scarecrow. For this project, you're going to be utilizing those leftover rings from yesterday's Scarecrow project. Some thicker craft cord, and some raffia. Some of Apple Barrel's paint in the colors of pumpkin orange and melted chocolate. I'll also be using this grapevine wreath. I buy one of these every year from Walmart for $1.96, and I cut it up and use it in so many of my harvest and fall crafting projects. So let's get to it and let me show you what I have in store for today's project. Starting this project off, I'm going to take 22 of the Peats pots, which is one full package in about 1/4 of the second. If you didn't do the Scarecrow project, you're gonna have to start from scratch. And we're gonna take a cutter and we're gonna go about 1 inch down from the top here. And we are gonna cut all the way around. And you're gonna do this to 22 of the pots. For today's project, we'll be using the ring of the peat pot. If you haven't seen my Scarecrow project using the bottom half of this pot, you'll have to see it. It is so stinking cute. I'll leave the link to that video in the description box below and on the end screen of this video. For this next part of the project, I'll be using Apple Barrel's paint in the color of pumpkin orange and melted chocolate. Now taking the melted chocolate brown, I'm gonna take and add just a couple drops to the pumpkin orange because I like to mute out my orange and make it a bit more rustic, and that's how I do it. Now taking the rings that I've just made, I'm gonna paint them. Taking my crafting cookie sheet, I'm gonna place my rings on my cookie sheet. I'm gonna set my oven to 125. I'm gonna place these in there for about 5 minutes. They'll be dry and ready for a second coat in no time at all. All 22 of my rings are painted and we are ready to put this pumpkin together. I've taken and cut a 12-inch piece of my thicker craft cord. It was what I had on hand. If you have other string or ribbon that you want to use, you don't have to use craft cord for this part of the project. These peat pot rings will fit inside of each other just like so. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to string my string through them. And look at how stinking cute this is already starting to look. I'm gonna take and tie my craft cord. Now taking my grapevine, I'm gonna cut with some heavy duty cutters some pieces of these grapevine sticks. I've got my sticks cut. I'm gonna trim up my twine And I'm gonna take my hot glue and I'm just gonna kind of go around the base where the twine is tying all of the sticks, just to kind of ensure that they stay in there. I'm gonna take and put a lot of hot glue around this twine here. And I'm gonna place it right in the center. Now using some of Dollar Tree's raffia, and there you have it, everybody. Isn't this just so rustic and country? Something about these Peats pots just does something to it and gives a look that I just love. That's why I took it down off of YouTube and decided to redo the video, because the quality and the lighting was so poor on it and it wasn't getting views. And I just thought, if I redo this video, everybody is gonna love this project as much as I do, and I think that it deserves that. And so I am glad I redid this. I'm glad I have another one to add to my home for this holiday season, and I hope you all enjoy this project as much as I do. Well, everybody, that's all I have for you for today for this pumpkin using the leftover Peats Pots rings from yesterday's Scarecrow project. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube will notify you when I'm uploading a new video. You can also follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Google+. You can find those links in the description box below. Just click on those links, click follow, and you'll also be notified through social media when I'm uploading a new video or just doing something fun. You can also find my P.O. box in the description box below as well if you're interested in sending me mail and watching me open it up in a video. And don't forget, if I've inspired you to make one of my projects, snap a quick picture, send it to me on Facebook or Instagram, because I love seeing all of your creations and I can feature them in an upcoming video. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day, happy crafting on a budget, and bye for now.